We've always been told that the secret to getting more done is just to work harder, right? To just push through it. But what if that's completely backwards? Today, we're going to dig into a much smarter approach, a self-powering system called the energy motivation loop that might just change the way you think about productivity forever.
Okay, be honest. Does this feel a little too familiar? That feeling of waking up already tired, just kind of running on fumes all day, and by the time you're done, you're completely wiped out. Yeah, it's a feeling so many of us know, it's almost become our default setting.
But here's the most important thing I want you to hear. This is not a personal failure. It is not about a lack of willpower. It's a predictable, very common cycle that millions of people get stuck in. It's a trap.
And this is where it all comes down to two totally different mindsets. On the one hand, you've got the common approach we all know, just grit your teeth, drink more coffee, and push through the exhaustion. But on the other side, there's a much smarter way, the strategic approach, which is all about finding and fixing the real reason you're so tired in the first place.
So, let's break down exactly what this trap looks like. Because honestly, understanding how this whole negative cycle works is the absolute first step to getting out of it. And man, this thing spirals fast. It all starts with low energy. And because your battery's already in the red, your motivation just tanks, right? Every little task feels like climbing a mountain. So with zero motivation, your productivity goes right out the window. That failure adds stress, which drains even more energy, and boom, you are right back at the start of a really nasty downward spiral.
But what if you could actually reverse that? What if you could flip the script entirely? This is where everything changes. Let's talk about unlocking the positive loop, the good one, the virtuous cycle that actually builds you up.
And this right here is the core idea. The energy motivation loop is a system where your well-being isn't some reward you get for finishing your work. No, it's the fuel for the work itself. By taking care of yourself first, you literally generate the energy that drives your motivation. So check this out. Here's that negative cycle again, but look closely. There's a crucial new step. Step 4, boost well-being. This is your escape hatch. By intentionally focusing right here on things like your sleep, your movement, your food, you break the cycle. That simple boost in well-being directly gives you more energy, which then powers up your motivation and productivity, creating this amazing positive feedback loop.
So, how do we actually do this? How does it work in the real world? Well, it all comes down to 3 core areas. Think of them as your 3 energy pillars that hold this whole thing up. And these aren't just vague health tips, they are strategic levers you can pull to boost your productivity.
And before we jump in, this is so important. You do not need to change your entire life overnight. This is not about some radical, impossible overhaul. The real power, the real magic, is in making small, consistent changes that you can actually stick with. All right, our first pillar is the foundation. It's the bedrock for everything else, and that is sleep. Just think of sleep as your body's main energy reservoir. It is the single most powerful, non-negotiable way to recharge both your body and your brain.
So how do we get better at it? Well, start with consistency. Just by going to bed and waking up around the same time, you do wonders for your body's internal clock. Then, create a simple routine to wind down. Maybe that means putting your phone away for the last half hour of the day. And then just pay attention. Really notice how much sharper and more focused you feel after a truly good night's sleep.
Okay, on to our second pillar. Now this one might sound a little bit counterintuitive at first. Physical activity. The whole idea here is that you actually have to use energy to create more energy. And it's true. It turns out that even short bursts of movement can completely shift your physical and mental state for the better.
And the best part is just how easy this can be. Feeling that midday brain fog? A quick 15-minute walk can totally clear that up. Feeling tense and stiff from sitting all day? 10 minutes of stretching can release all that physical tension. See, this isn't about spending hours in a gym. It's about using these small pockets of time to actively feed that energy loop. And that brings us to our third and final pillar, nutrition. I mean, this is all about what you're putting into the machine, right? The food you eat is the literal fuel for your brain and body, and it has a direct, immediate impact on your energy levels. This isn't about dieting. Think of it as a performance strategy. And there are 3 super simple actions here that can make a world of difference. First, stay hydrated. Seriously, dehydration is a silent energy killer, so keep water nearby. Second, try to build your meals around foods that give you stable, long-lasting energy.
And third, plan ahead. Having some healthy snacks ready to go helps you avoid that sugary junk that leads to a huge crash later.
So when you put this all together, when you start taking care of these 3 pillars, you begin to realize this is about way more than just feeling good. This is a massive strategic advantage. This is the ultimate productivity hack.
I really want to let this quote sink in, because it perfectly captures this whole mindset shift. Prioritizing well-being is not selfish, it's strategic. Taking time for yourself, to sleep, to move, to eat well, that's not time you're taking away from your work. It's a strategic investment in your work. And here's the payoff, visualized perfectly. On the left, you've got that vicious cycle, right? Energy and motivation just stuck at the bottom. But look at the right. That's the virtuous cycle. That's what happens when you invest in these 3 pillars. Your energy and motivation just keep feeding each other, pushing you forward.
So here's the bottom line. The next time you feel that exhaustion, that familiar drag setting in, please resist that old urge to just power through it. Instead, take a step back and address the root cause. That's the strategic move.
And that brings us to a final question just for you. You don't have to tackle all 3 of these pillars at once. Just look at them: sleep, movement, nutrition, and decide what is one small thing you can do starting today to strengthen just one of those areas and start fueling your own positive energy loop.